So I've learned over the course of time, married 28 years, dated him for 8. There are certain things that will make or break a marriage. There are certain things that will make you question why you married this person. Infidelity, finances, lies, distrust. Those are things that can break a marriage. And then there are things that make you question at times why you chose this person. I can guarantee you it's days like yesterday that make Greg question, why did I choose this woman? Oh boy. There are days that I question, what was I thinking? Y'all, I got on an online auction and bought the contents of a laundry room, a bookshelf, and 2 outdoor storage closets. Now, was I a little, not dishonest, but not completely transparent when I said, hey, we need to go pick up some auction winnings? I sent some pictures. I just didn't send all the pictures. And then I said, we're probably going to need a trailer too. Y'all, the truck was packed. The trailer was overly packed. It took us about 2.5 hours. So this estate sale auction was an estate. It was at a house. The house had sold. The house had to be emptied. The family came. They got what they wanted out of it. And everything else went to auction. So whatever you won, you had to bring boxes and bring your own packing supplies and pack it up yourself. When they said you're bidding on the contents of the laundry room, washer and dryer not included, but anything in the cabinets, and they showed 3 cabinets. So I knew I was getting things like cleaning supplies, laundry detergent, a wide variety of things that I love to pick up at like yard sales and stuff and estate sales. If you make a beeline immediately for the laundry room, the utility room, you're going to get full bottles of Clorox, brand new spray paints. I'm talking about for $1. You cannot get that anywhere else. And those are things that we use around here constantly. You're going to get Miracle Grow for your garden for $1. So of course I wanted the contents of that laundry room because I could see those kind of things in there. They showed you 3 pictures. Let me say this, 3 cabinets. I probably cleaned out 7 cabinets. So that was a little overwhelming. I cleaned up a bookshelf. I ended up with like some World Book encyclopedias that, I don't need. But I knew the other books were good. They're good color. They make great risers and decorative pieces for your shelf. And then 2 outdoor closet storage areas on a carport. And y'all, they were far bigger than I thought and far fuller than I thought. And I got a lot to go through. But you know what? I also have an amazing husband who I really don't know what he thinks, but he says, yes, dear, if this makes you happy, this makes me happy. And of course, when I tell him that a lot, this, we got to throw this away, we got to throw this away. And sometimes it's hard to find places that will take some of the things that we need to throw away. A lot of things can be burned in our fire pit. A lot of things can go in our garbage. But I'm sure there are times where he thinks, how did I end up with a woman who likes everybody else's junk? Now, I don't even know what's in here because he packed the 2 outdoor rooms. I packed the inside rooms. So I really have no idea what he's got in here, what he found. I don't really know that he looked because I said, hey, this is not treasure hunting. This is load it and let's get out of here. They had to be out of the house at 7, which meant the auction people had to have the house emptied by 7. Everybody had to have their stuff picked up. I think it took us 2.5 hours to pack and load. We had a tarp. It did rain. It didn't rain the whole time we were packing the truck, but when we got ready to leave, it started raining and rained about halfway home. We were about an hour 10 minutes from that location. The tarp helped. The rain did blow in on some stuff, but a lot of it is just the cardboard boxes that things were packed in that got wet. So I don't think, it didn't rain hard enough to ruin anything. You know, some things just need to dry out. Again, most of it was the cardboard boxes that things were packed in. So today is sorting day. It is throwaway day. It's what are we keeping day. It's what's going to the community yard sale next weekend. And you know, I mean, I can see great gas cans here. I mean, great coolers here. Those are things that we are always in need of. There are gallons of paint over here. Now, I realize that paint, if it goes through a freeze, can go bad. Some of them are empty, but I can tell that some of them are full. And I don't know yet. I haven't looked if it's paint, if it's stain, what it is. But those are things that we're always in need of around here. There are some appliances, there are a few dishes, there are nails, there are screws. Again, things that are expensive that we got for a little of nothing, you know. When you factor in the amount of things I got, nails and screws are literally pennies. But they're things that we use constantly. So I'm going to start pulling out some tables. I'm going to start sorting. I'll show you things as I find them. I'll show you things as I go through them. If anything's interesting, I know there is an Electrolux vacuum cleaner. It's an old one. My grandmother had one. Don't know if it works yet. We'll figure it all out. But stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Hopefully I'll have some great things to show you. All right, so I've already thrown away like some local newspapers from the area where the house was located, and they were like from the 90s, actually, around the time I graduated high school, and just like some magazines. But here is an article that somebody clipped that says, a recipe for mixing with family. Soon my husband and I will retire and move to North Carolina. The climate and culture are good there, but more important, 2 of our children are there. We want family more than anything else in our golden years, but we are apprehensive at the same time. These children moved away at college time, and though close emotionally, have not since been part of the mechanics of our lives, or vice versa. They now have a good spouse, cute children, busy lives. We want to mix smoothly with them, not to be lumps in their batter. Tell us the recipe for retirees to mix with family. I think there are probably a lot of people who could read this today and find some value. All right, it is several hours later, a few hours later, however they say it on SpongeBob. The fire pit is doing its job. It was piled way high, and there's a lot more still around it. Not my Rubbermaids, but some other stuff. Haven't checked the water hoses yet. This is the garbage pile. It's killing my soul to throw these chairs away. I have several of these, but these are dry rotted. Now, I did come across some new straps that should do one chair if I've got sense enough to do it. I think there are 3 here, so I'm gonna save one and see what I can do with those straps. Really broke my heart because this is Let me show you. It was a big brown pitcher, Hager, USA. Yeah, Hager pottery. It was already broken, but it did break even further on the haul home. So this is all garbage. We had the bottom to a paper shredder, and we lost the bottom somewhere. There's a toaster oven down there. It possibly works, but you can see on the side, it looks like it's maybe had a little too much toasting or a fire or something. We always find fishing rods in storage units, whatever. I bring them home. You know, if somebody wants to give me $1 or $2 for all of them, I don't care. That is some sort of makeshift tent. In my opinion, it is garbage. I may take the tent stakes off of it and save it, but otherwise that's garbage. Y'all, this is a really awesome vintage sleeping bag. I don't think it has any holes in it. And I've laid it out here in the sun today to air. It actually rained on it a little bit. I've contemplated putting it in my washing machine just because it's so awesome. I'm a little scared it's going to tear apart. I haven't put my nose on it, but you know, anything that's been kept up in a house that has not been lived in or has not had air on or things like that, or in these storage closets out on the carport, they're just going to have a smell. They just are. So I won't go into any more detail. This is something I may hang on to. It's some kind of hydrant, something. That's a bag of potting soil. Don't know. A lot of this is going out on the yard sale. 2 tires they have somewhere on the outer, but somebody might can use them. I don't know. That is called a cooking Cajun. Don't know what it is. I know what it is, just don't know if it works. This unit right here, the bottom was completely full of bank statements and canceled checks. The top, I have been in it once, and it has tax returns in it. And I'm not talking about tax returns from the last 10 years. I'm talking about 1950s tax returns. And the bank statements were the same way. I think the earliest I saw was 57. And I'm pretty sure I had all the statements up through the 60s and early 70s. But I can't get it back open right now. A little step stool. This is the Electrolux. I haven't done anything with it. I don't know what those pads go to. There's also a big brush down there that makes me think it was some kind of industrial floor something. So a old radiant heater, some tie downs, a little step stool. We've got a gas can. This is some kind of extension cord, hat, jack, cooler, some kind of hitch. That is an outdoor light that I don't think has ever been used. That's a really old Christmas tree stand. Another cooler, just some stuff, some wreaths, little camo stand. This is a Christmas tree. It's the kind that, you know, your tips were colored and you found that color, coordinating color on the pole. It appears to all be there. So I'm thinking, like, if somebody just needs one on their patio, on their front porch, at the deer camp, things like that. Cute little chair, little basket. I've emptied out some milk crates. I don't know what that is. It does not stand up in the other direction. I thought at first it was like a magazine rack, but it doesn't stand up the other way. So I've just got it sitting there now. I don't know what it is. Again, there is the strap for the chair. And then there's some other kind of strap, like an army green heavy canvas. There's that yellow bag is some ant killer. I've already put out some ant stuff that if y'all never hear from me again, it's because I breathed a lot of it in, and I'm pretty sure it's off the market these days. I as a lot of the other stuff that I'm going to show you is probably off the market also. I do not know what these are. I have a couple of them. I don't know. Like, it makes me think of something like cemetery, but I don't know. Anyway, this says it is hooked to a weed eater to clean out your gutters. Gutter attachment, gas and electric blowers, weed eater brand. It doesn't hook to a weed eater. But I don't know that I have this section. So I'm thinking maybe these were just the attachments and you already had the blower. I don't know. Pieces of wood. Those papers were ours. I already had these suntan bed bulbs, and the bag has gotten wet, as you can see. Move over, doggy. And then we've got, majority of this is tools, screws, nails, bolts, bits, things that Greg will go through and say, we have enough of that already, or yeah, keep it, whatever. I found this super cool clipboard that I will probably be keeping myself. Really like that. A really heavy duty tape dispenser. Yeah, this is just a kind of a conglomeration of stuff. There's some ledger books here, and I'll show you some other ledger books later that I'm hoping someone will find in their hearts to take a few, even if it's just for decorative purposes, or if you're an accounting teacher or a business teacher, you want these on display in your classroom, whatever. This spool here, I will probably keep just for decor on the shelf, just because I think it looks cool. And down here is kind of household kitchen stuff that will go out for the yard sale. Lots of tins that like cookies and things like that came with. I know people reuse those or use them to hold screws or nails or bolts or things like that. Baskets. In these bags are freezer boxes. I think there's a whole nother bag somewhere else. I think I'm at count 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 coffee pots. I do not know condition yet. Got a food processor. I've got a can opener. I've got a Fry Daddy. I've got some kind of steamer. Again, I haven't checked any of this yet to check on condition. Some cake tins, things like that. A little bitty cooler. So this will go out. This will be yard sale stuff also. And then over here, I've separated things that I can use in the flower farm. So, of course, we've got lots of jars, lots of vases. Probably found like 7 flower frogs. So, see, there's one. And there's a little bitty. It's got some junk in it. There's one. There's some. Nola, I do not need any help. So we've got some vases. I think there is another, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I had another Hager out here. I can't remember. But there's a really nice tall one back there. And then here is the, this was all in the laundry room, y'all. Everything is 3/4 of the way full to full. Anything else I threw away. If it was soft, if it was leaky, if it wasn't spray, whatever, I threw it away. I'm pretty sure there's probably some insecticide stuff out here that's probably off the market these days. There's probably some plant stuff that's probably off the market these days. All this Fertilome stuff here is in brown glass bottles. So, honestly, I may just safely empty those and keep the bottles, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. This is empty. I don't know how it's empty, but it is empty. I don't know if that's old or not, but I may see if one of the guys at work is interested in it. That to me looks pretty cool. Let's see what else we've got up here. I think we've probably got some black leaf poison. I don't have my glasses on to know what else that says or what black leaf even is. Whatever is in it is very thick. I'll have to do some research there. I found this pretty interesting wheat germ oil called Pressed, excellent for salads and fine cooking. Haven't found an expiration date on that, but of course I won't be using it. Just set it aside because I thought it was interesting. Some paint thinner, some more danger poison. Is it salicylic acid? Yep. Anyway, there's hummingbird mix over here. There's WD-40. There's current things like, you know, your Downy Unstoppables. I got Tide out here. I've got bleach. I've got OxyClean. Got Woolite. I've got Shout. And then I've got some pretty old stuff. I've got 2 fire extinguishers. And in the back of my mind, I'm pretty sure fire extinguishers have an expiration date. And considering that my granddad, my dad, and my brother all were in that field voluntarily, those are probably things I should know. Let's see, what is this? Oh yeah, camphorphenique. Anyway, it is a pain reliever antiseptic. If you've never heard of that, that is pretty old too. These are some plant stakes. Thought I'd hang on to them. They may be brittle as all get out. Little expandable water hose. This is some edge, you know, flower bed edge trimmer, whatever. Let's see, what else? A heater, a bug zapper. That wasn't even in a box. I'm going to try it out tonight. These are some bed rails. Do not have the bed. And here's some more just random wood. Box of ceramic tile. I haven't undone those dishes yet. Shoe horns. Empty Folgers coffee cans, metal ones. Surely somebody's going to need these for some crafts. Come on. Let's move these. That is kind of a, what do you call it? Rolls under, like, vehicles and stuff, I guess. I think that is roof, like stuff, roofing that goes under shingles, maybe. That is actually some linoleum. Don't know if anybody would want that or not. And then we come to the back of the truck where we have books, and books I haven't even unloaded. And these are old pictures that I just can't throw away. So I'm hoping to kind of pull them together in like a groupings, like military or hunting, and maybe somebody will show some interest in those. I just like the idea of these on your shelf, stacked up, maybe a little rabbit on top or a candle or something like that. Some of these are like World Book encyclopedias, so they're not really pretty necessarily. So I think you could probably stack them and maybe throw some material over it or like a dolly over it. Just use these as risers that are not visible, so to speak. But then these really pretty books, you know, you want to turn them on their ends and use those as decorative. And y'all, then we've got these awesome, let me get to some of these. Well, these books are called the Ethel Cotton Course in Conversation. And I've got volumes, lessons 9 through 12, I believe. And this is pretty much how to run a store. And it tells you everything you need to know about running a store. Thought that was pretty cool. And then these are ledgers. And y'all, they're not in great condition. But I'm hoping that somebody will want one or two or all of them. Some of them are written in pencil. Some of them are written in pen. Some of them are blank. You just don't see this anymore. And I want somebody to appreciate some of these. My grandmother kept ledgers for my granddaddy's grocery store and for church also, until she started using Excel. Let's see. Like, look at this one. How pretty is that one? Just laying on a shelf or something. Let's see. Yes, this one has been. Look at that. Look at how awesome that handwriting is too. I think these were dated early 70s. It's just something you don't see anymore. And I just cannot bring myself to throw things like that away. Let's see. Where was a book? There was a book in here I wanted to show y'all. See, this is like a study of Hebrews, but it's just a really pretty, bright blue book. Let's see. Like, look at these two together. Aren't those pretty? Y'all probably are like, girl, you are just crazy. Nobody wants all that old stuff. And that's okay. Here's a book on how to conquer shyness. I'm just dropping books everywhere. Alright, I'm going to see if I can find the book I want to show y'all, and I'll be right back. Well, you know I still can't find it, but I will. This book says, for boys only. The doctor discusses the mysteries of manhood. I know a few people who could probably learn something from that. This is called A Guide to Confident Living. Here is a book on Mississippi history. Don't know about a date. Let's see if we can find a date. The outline is a revision of the ones published 1941, revised in 44, 46, and 48. That is a copyright of 51. And then we have the Red Cross Instructor's Manual of Swimming and Diving Courses. Bet that one's interesting. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, here it is, Growing into Manhood. I know so many people who could probably read this. This is something we still need to be teaching today. What growing means, things that count. Yeah. What to do in certain situations, I guess. I don't know. I haven't looked at it too closely, but I just found it a little humorous and thought, yeah, some people probably could learn something from that. And then I've got a couple of these on effective speech. Just, I guess, like, I don't know, how to talk to people or how to give good speeches or, you know, again, something the world could learn from today. All right, before it gets... This looks like a pretty old book. Vivalor, The Pathway to Mental and Physical Perfection. Probably ought to look into this. Okay, not quite sure what I'll learn, but, wow. A beauty diet. Hello. Yeah. Probably ought to check that out. How to say what you think. Trust me, I do not have a problem with that. In fact, that's probably where I get in the most trouble. Can women afford it? I bet that's a pretty interesting read, actually. let's see, I wanted to show y'all a few others. This is actually a joke book, a humor book. So I'll have to, in the daylight, check out some of these jokes. This is a little book on when you entertain, what to do and how to, it's dark. Oh, what to do and how, sorry. Oh, looky here. Invitations to supper. Dignity and formal luncheon. The dignity of a formal luncheon. Okay, neat. We'll have to check that out. And then I did pick up a couple of hymnals. And I like to have these kind of for crafting. I like to have them on a shelf just for decoration. So I think I picked up like 3 of those. So I'm still going through books. I'm going to get this stuff put away before dew starts falling and the books get wet, because I do not want them to get wet at all. Exhausted does not even begin to cover it. So you know that last week I bought the contents of a laundry room, 2 outdoor storage areas, and then the contents of a bookshelf. I have made my money back, plus I sold all the books for $100. Sold about $57 worth of other stuff from it. I had a yard sale today. It was our community yard sale, and I'm gonna say I profited about $250. You know, I had more than that in my pocket, but some of that was the change I started with. But $90 of that was pumpkin sales. So the rest of it was yard sale stuff. And it was some of the stuff from the estate sale. It was some of stuff just I have left over from storage units, estate sales, yard sales, personal, things like that. If you had looked at my patio, you would not have been able to tell that I sold anything, because you could not tell anything was missing. I had plenty left that I boxed up, and we'll do it again at some other point. But I worked on it a long time yesterday, cut grass yesterday. I got up about 5:30 this morning and I probably worked till 11 last night. Got up at 5:30 this morning and started putting everything out, getting everything organized. And it is, I don't know, after 7 now. And Greg is going to pick up supper, thankfully. And I'm about ready to crash on the couch. He said, watch a ball game. I'm like, I'll try. Can't tell you that I'm going to watch much of anything, but it was a good day. I would have loved a better turnout, but y'all, the closest place to us is still 15 minutes. So people have to drive out here. I know there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 to 8 people selling, which is not a lot for a community yard sale, but we're a pretty small community anyway. But y'all, there could be so many more people. It could be a really nice day if everybody would get on board. I feel like we could do some stuff at our community center, maybe have a bake sale or a plate, selling some kind of plate lunch, or this is the time of year where we used to do like a little harvest festival and do cakewalk and bingo and things like that. And I know if you have a yard sale early in the morning, you can't really continue that all day into the evening, but yeah, we have a nice little community, and I'd love to see us do more activities and, you know, just hang out together. So anyway, just want to fill y'all in on how my day went and how I've gotten rid of most everything from that estate sale. So thanks for watching.